Hi, my name is Jack Bruce. I'm an artist from Paris and I've got my own brand named as Jack Bruce as well. And right here, I'm in London for 3 days trying to meet people, trying to see what's up here in London.
Yeah, so you're here to visit in London. Where are you from originally?
Ethnicity, I'm Indian 100%, but I've lived in France my whole life. I mean, I'm born in Switzerland, but then I moved
Really?
yeah, I moved 3 months later in Paris and I've been there my whole life.
So you don't remember any of it?
No, I don't.
Have you been back since?
Yeah, I've got family there, so I go there for like skiing sometimes or like seeing my family and stuff like that.
Fair enough. So how is it all like linked together to make the brand now?
So, growing up in France as an Indian kid, I never really felt represented. Whether it's in like music, fashion, or anything, I never had like someone to look up to. So now, when I was like 13, 14, I'm like, I like to pay attention to like what I wear. I wouldn't consider myself as like a fashion guy right now, but I like to pay attention to what I wear, and so I'm like, let me push my culture through what I like doing, which is like fashion. So let me try and collide both, and maybe be the Indian face of streetwear in like 5, 10 years, where other kids, in my case, could look up to me.
So then would you describe your brand and your clothes so far as leaning into like an Indian style or more streetwear, like the typical streetwear silhouettes and stuff?
That's a good question. It's more typical streetwear silhouette right now, and I'm trying to like bridge the cultural gap little by little, because I feel like what I want to do hasn't been done yet, and it's not like the European audience or even like the Western audience is not ready for such like a cultural impact on streetwear, because it's not really represented. So I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I have to do this slowly, where it's appealing to everyone and not trying to make like a brown exclusive brand.
Yeah, you don't want it to be niche too soon.
Yeah, exactly, because I feel like if I go niche right from the beginning, I'm just gonna like stop myself from evolving to where I could be at if it's appealing to everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so then did the order of like events go, you like knowing what you're wearing and stuff like that, so then you wanted to express your identity through clothes?
Exactly.
Or did it happen the other way around? So like you have this like important thing of wanting to be represented, and now you don't know which medium to use, so like film, music, fashion. How did you choose?
You know what, it's kind of both, because I consider myself as rather a creative person. So like from the age of like 4, I used to draw. So when you have like I feel like everyone has a creative mindset, but some people exploit it more than others. And when you really like creativity as a whole, you kind of touch to every single, like, let's say, industry. So I take pictures, I do videos, but it's more like personal, and then brand is more for everyone. So I feel like it's a mix of everything, and now I've just been concentrating on fashion as a whole. So I want to represent through fashion, and if I do like a video for my brand, for example, that I'm not necessarily like directing, I would want it to be in a way where I'm giving some sort of like force to my community.
So what, like an extension of your brand but in a different form?
Exactly. So for example, it could be like something dumb, but like the main actor could be brown. Do you get what I'm saying? Because like, for example, take London, there's bare brown people over here, whereas in Paris we don't have that. But take like the biggest streetwear brands, like, I don't know, maybe Cortez, you don't really see much brown people. I think there's like one brown Jamaican model that's model for them, but you never see that other face of London. Do you get what I'm saying?
Do you think there's a reason why?
I feel like the reason why would be that, like, since the beginning, we were never centered around like creative stuff or like creativity as a whole, or anything else than the traditional route that was given to us by our ancestors, which is like education. People never really dared to step into that world, and now it's come to a point where people are afraid of stepping into that world because they feel like they're gonna be alone, but they're not alone because I'm feeling like there's more and more people that are relating to what I'm doing and my vision. So yeah, I feel like people are not stepping into the world right now because they're scared to step into it.
How come you didn't lose it then? Like, how come you didn't just accept that it might be easier to go into something that your parents would have pushed from the start? Or like, would you say your family personally have been really encouraging? And
My family, they wanted me to they always tell me, do whatever makes you happy, but I know this, it's not like the full truth behind it. I know they would want me maybe to pursue like a career which is seen as, I don't know, something legitimate in their culture. But so that I use that as a strength because I'm trying to prove a point in a way, but it's not my main goal. But if I do it, let me also prove a point to my parents and show them that what I'm doing is possible. So I just use it as like fuel.
do you think that there is a point in the success that you could reach that they would see it as, like, it would fully change their mind?
Yeah, 100%. Like I know the day, like.
So what, like when the money comes in?
Yeah, exactly. I know the day the money comes in, I can buy stuff for my parents. I know that that's when they're like gonna see it as something legitimate. But my mom, on the other hand, she is quite supportive because she used to work in fashion. I don't really know what she was doing, but I know she was working in fashion, and she was working for like this big Dutch company in India, and she managed to get like a job in like logistics or something, which was quite rare because of racism. These people, they would just come to India to search for like workers for like the clothes and stuff, and yes, so she got quite a high post in that company. But yeah, I don't really know what she was doing, but all I know is that she's quite supportive because she understands the vision.
Yeah.
Whereas my dad, he's not really inclined into fashion or anything. Like he's really like, his whole life was like basically studying, and through that like evolve into like a higher, let's say, social level. I'm going from an immigrant that reached France when he was 12 to the place he's at right now. So he doesn't really understand my vision because it's not the same as his like journey.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So I know you said you don't know about the exact position she was in, but what do you think about like brands that are really cheap and then they exploit their workers, and it's often like in third world countries?
I feel
like just in general, even not for...
In general, I feel like it might sound like controversial what I'm gonna say, but they literally just finesse the system. Like, let's be real, they literally just finesse the system, but it's not ethical, and I'm not supportive of such, let's say, standards, but they literally just finesse the system. Like, it was an open market, they just went there, and they were like, yo, work for me, I'm gonna pay you like this amount, and literally force people to work for them. So yeah, like in a way they finesse the system, yeah. So I just see that as that. But if like I deep it, it's just like, it's messed up because like it creates a sort of like vicious circle where those people are reliant on that workforce. So if these huge like European or American companies leave, they're not gonna find any jobs because these people, once they're in that workforce, they're reliant on they're reliant, and they start at a young age, so they don't even go to school no more, so they can't get out of that circle. So yeah.
So it's basically like, it's like a symbiotic relationship, they're both benefiting.
Yeah.
So like, cause like the brand that's coming to my head is Shein, right?
Yeah.
And how I like describe bad taste is if you just like, it's just rip-offs.
Yeah. It's like fast fashion. Yeah.
And it's really cheap for that reason. So like I would say that fashion for me is less about the silhouette. Like I'm not very like creative in that sense. I wouldn't focus on how the person looks. I would focus about how, like other art forms, it just doesn't come naturally to me, like to express yourself through what you're wearing or how you look. But then, so if I saw something and I'm like, I basically can't tell the difference between when something looks like has a good shape or a bad shape. So then where I draw the line is like, if the brand is what the brand stands for, do you think that people can dress well even if the stuff is cheap? Or do you think that there needs to be some sort of logic behind the brand they're wearing? So like it's better to save up and get something that you really like from people that you support and that are basically rooting for people like you? Or do you think it's just like if you're not wearing like skinny jeans, like you're fine.
I feel like when it comes to dressing, it's not a question of name or anything. Like when you're, why do us humans dress? Because like you're not gonna walk outside naked, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I feel like the fashion part is an extension of like a basic human need. And yeah, when it comes to like expressing yourself, I feel like you don't really need like anything branded. You can go to a thrift store, find something for like I don't know, £5. It'll look fly as fuck as if you bought like I don't know, a £500 leather jacket from this brand. And I feel like when you're someone, let's say, that's really interested into fashion, you don't want to just wear a piece, you want to wear a story. So I feel like that's where there's a line in between dressing for the sake of dressing or dressing with pieces you like and dressing by name. It's like when you have a brand and you can relate to that story, you're more inclined to buy that even though it's pricier than buying something cheaper. Because most of the time when you have something cheap, there's no name behind it. That's where I feel like the gap of price is coming in.
Right, and because you're saying that from you said you're not a fashion person, but you're like in a neon hoodie, so like.
No, I'm not gonna consider myself as fashion guy because I feel like in this day, like if you consider yourself as a fashion guy, like it's a question of perspectives. You get what I'm saying? Like for me, a fashion guy would be a guy that bangs TikToks every day, goes Soho. I mean, in Paris it would be like Le Marais, and you know I have no problem with like those areas, but it's just like for me, labeling yourself as a fashion guy is labeling yourself to that lifestyle, and that's not my lifestyle. So that's why I don't want to be claimed as a fashion guy. And most of these like TikTok fashion warriors, fashion demons, like if you label yourself as a fashion guy, they're gonna like if a fashion guy is watching this, he's gonna go in the comments and he's gonna be like, oh yeah, Jack Bruce is not a fashion guy because he's wearing a neon hoodie, or like, oh yeah, why is he not wearing sambas, or why is he not do you get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not labeling myself as anything. I am Jack Bruce and Jack Bruce is me. So yeah.
Fair enough. Like it is a thing about perspectives, because I would say that you are, but that's just because I'm coming from it like with it's a fashion brand and it's streetwear based, and you're involved. Well, to be fair, you're involved with people in the whole like creative sphere.
Yeah.
So I get what you were saying before about how it just all links together.
Yeah.
Do you like draw inspiration from other things then, or is it? So like I'm basically trying to narrow down how much of a fashion guy you are.
Yeah.
Like how are you? What's the ratio of like the actual like fashion compared to just it being a brand?
I feel like the fashion part comes from like the technology used behind the piece. So it would be, for example, the material that you're gonna use. If you want to put like your logo or like your design, let's say, on it, like are you gonna use printing? If you use printing, what type of printing, and why did you choose that? If you're gonna take embroidery, why are you choosing that specific embroidery? So I feel like the silhouette part, or like, is just the technology behind the piece itself. And yeah, I feel like a lot of streetwear brands are saying, as you were saying, just like copy pasting, because these days you've got social media, everything goes quickly. So like if you can just copy someone's silhouette. Let's be for real, like you can just buy a piece for 200, send it to your manufacturer in China and make a one-on-one copy and then just put your logo on it. So I feel like the silhouette part is quite important because you need to find a technology that is quite complex to the point where someone cannot rip it off you. But my creative process, so like how much of a fashion brand is my brand. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm just starting out, so I don't have the necessary funds to be making complex designs. So I've got a lot of pieces with like complex technology that I haven't released yet, or I haven't made a sample yet, because obviously I can't afford it at the stage where I'm at. So the fashion part of my brand is gonna roll out through the years. So right now it's more like I'm trying to put the piece out and put like the brand out and trying to make people aware that, oh yeah, Jack Bruce exists, and trying to familiarize them with what Jack Bruce is. So I feel like firstly, I mean it depends on the piece, because I'm I don't know how creatives work. I'm gonna be honest. I just work the way that I work. So I'm a person that has a lot of stuff going on in the head. Not, I'm not talking about mental. I'm talking about like inspiration. So sometimes I might see something and be like, yo, let me flip this into this piece, or like maybe it could be like a scene from a movie. It could be like anything. I'll just see and it will inspire me in some way. Or sometimes I'm like, okay, I want to make this design like a complex piece with this technology, and this could be linked to, I don't know, this environment, so let me make the logo familiar to that. So for example, I've designed I wanted to make like a vest that takes inspiration from the Wild West. So it's like a sort of like leather vest with no sleeves, because you know that's how you link it to like the cowboy lifestyle or whatever. Yeah. And so like now the design is like a sort of like signature with stars that reminds the sheriff, and then cactuses that reminds like Texas and Mexico. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So like for me, when I design, my creative process is either the piece itself without the logo, and then I try to link that to what image it gives out, and the design is gonna like link to that type of lifestyle or that type of environment, or I just have an idea for like, let's say, a design, and then I'm trying to put it on a piece.
Right, so then how do those two things end up with like what you've been doing for the past 3 days?
Well, when I come to London, I mostly come to like link up people that I know through like IG or something and that I've never met. And you know, when you hang out with people that have the same or like a different vision, you kind of learn from them. And so like, for example, I met this guy Flair from New York, and he was talking about how, you know, in NY you've got certain designs, but you don't have other designs that we have here. So it's like, now I'm thinking, okay, so I can just walk into New York with a design from like Paris or London and propose it there. Do you get what I'm saying? So like when you meet a bunch of people, especially when I come to London as a Parisian guy, I kind of see what are the flaws in this market and how I can take advantages from the flaws in the London market. Or when I talk to someone, they can see, oh yeah, what's wrong with the Paris market. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now my trip, I came here, yeah, to link a bunch of people, and especially to get some shoots done. And it's been a minute, I hadn't come to London. Last time I came was in Jan. So yeah, you know, trying to bridge the gap.
Have you ever had bad advice from someone?
Bad advice, as in something that someone told me to do and I did it and it didn't work out, or?
Yeah, or someone that's just straight up talking shit. Like some people that just run their mouth and it doesn't come from a place of honesty, or it doesn't benefit you, or they're just actively trying to set you up.
I haven't, in London, I don't think so. So far in London, the people that are around me are like trying to give me the best advice for my own good. But I'd say in Paris, yeah, because in Paris, the Paris scene is really different, because it's kind of built up with an ego. So like people there are not trying to push you up, and some people might watch this and disagree with me, but the main industry, like the whole industry is like this, and it's just like the niche part, or like the younger generation, so like people from my age that are trying to push each other up. So yeah, sometimes we get some advice and it'll be like some bullshit, like let me be honest, it'll be some bullshit, and they'll tell you, oh yeah, do this, do that, but at the end of the day, if you're gonna do that, you're just gonna like fall onto the floor, like, do you get what I'm saying?
Why do they do that? Like, why is it so different in France compared to London?
I feel like it's because Paris obviously I'd say is the fashion capital of Europe. You've got like Dior, Louis Vuitton, you've got everything there. So people in Paris, I feel like when they're tapped in with like people from other countries, they try and brag and say, oh yeah, I'm from Paris, oh yeah, I went to this fashion runway, I went to that. And so I feel like let's say important, I don't like labeling people as important or not, because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you're a human being. But let's say like the important people in that industry, they're gonna try and maintain that image. And it's kind of a thing like where everyone is fighting everyone. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like,
It's dog eat dog. That's so.
Yeah.
It's so like different because the London scenes, and it's been supported in a way that the people that are taking initiative and doing all these things, they're benefiting off it as well.
Yeah.
So like Bobo's, that whole thing
Mm.
is good for people that want to do random things like chess. It's good if
Yeah.
you're trying to network. It's good if you're literally just sitting there after work trying to draw. You're at a club,
Yeah.
like whatever it is. It's benefiting people, and it's benefiting Sloan, it's benefiting Tallulah, so there's no, I don't know why, it's probably corrupt there, like you said, because of the background of it.
Yeah, but then I'm talking smack about Paris right now, but then don't get me wrong, Paris is like quite cool. Like if you tap in with the right people, as I said, especially like newer generations of like creatives, most of them are helpful because they've realized that the people that were there before them, their brothers and all, were struggling because of this ego thing. So some people are trying to break it, but I feel like most people are trying to break it because they know about London. Like take Cortez for example, they've got like a whole team, like they grew up together, and like so if Clint wants to make a video, Waleed is gonna do it, right? Or if Moses has a project, then he's gonna have Sloan or Clint be in the magazine that he's gonna shoot for, or if, I don't know, Sloan is going to do a lookbook, it's going to be like Finn Flint or one of his guys. So I feel like Paris realized that all the talents are all like moving like by themselves, but it's not getting them anywhere, do you get what I'm saying? So I feel like my generation, or I'm not going to say mine, I'm going to say the one right before me because I'm quite young and I don't really see anyone my age really moving things, but I'd say the generation just before mine is starting to realize that, and they're trying to like fix the issues within their market.
So you're basically just perfect timing because you can take advantage of the new thing while also learning from the fault, so you don't fall into those problems yourself. So then, like the opposite of that, what's like a specific piece of advice that you've taken and that's only ever benefited you? Or just like a whole person you've met that has been so supportive?
A person that, so I'll split it into answers. So firstly, a person that I've met and that's really benefited me, I'd say it's Robo. So he's this designer in Melbourne, and he's the designer for Judah Tribe. And we got to know each other through IG, and it's quite funny because he had this profile picture, I think it was his like burner account, and I thought it was like a random 12-year-old kid from Paris. Which like he would DM me and I would add the DMs because I thought it was like some weird creep, like weird kid. And then one day we started talking and I realized, yo, this guy's really nice. And you know how when you network you meet a bunch of people, but Robo is literally present in my day-to-day life. Like we literally call each other every other day or every day. We message each other every day. If I need help on a project, he got me. Because you know, he knows, I'd say he knows more about like, let's say like designing, as in like graphic designing, than I do, because he's obviously older than me. I think he's like 19 or something. But yeah, he's been benefiting me, and he's been helping me. I wouldn't say benefiting, because I feel like when you network with something, you kind of sign a contract where it's like, oh yeah, this person is going to benefit this from me, and I'm going to benefit this from them. So I feel like it's like a win-win, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like when you network with people, you're ready to like not lose stuff, but give stuff and receive stuff. So Robo, yeah, he's been helping a lot. And so if I've got a project, I can just hit him up at 3 in the morning, like Melbourne time, and he's always got my back. And now he's trying to do like a project in Paris, so I'm the one that's gonna like do everything. And he's like, oh yeah, how much should I pay you? And I'm like, nah, you don't have to pay me, do you get what I'm saying? Because like, it's like a solid friendship. It's more than just networking, it became a friendship. So yeah, shout out Robo. And a piece of advice that I've received that's really helped me a lot is like, to not take anything personal. That's Mo that told me during like Fashion Week this year, summer in Paris. And I think at the moment, I didn't really realize what he was saying, but it's like, you know how people be stressed or anything, and sometimes through IG you'll receive a message and you'll think, oh yeah, why is this person talking badly, or like, why is he being cold or something? But at the end of the day, it's not that deep, do you get what I'm saying? And if you focus too much on that, you're never going to get far in life, because you're going to be thinking, oh yeah, why did he say this? Why did he not say this? Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm a person that gets anxious really quickly, so I overthink a lot. And I feel like this advice really made me like go forward quicker than if I were to cope with my anxiety myself to get.
What is your like basically day ones? That might not even be day ones, but they mean to you as much as a day one would.
As in me as a person, like in my personal life, or when we're talking about the brand, or
Is there a difference?
I feel like there is a difference because I have day ones that I hang out with and it's just like normal interactions, let's say, whereas I've got other day ones and if we link, it's fully gonna be like, oh yeah, what's our next release gonna be? How are we gonna shoot it? What are we gonna do? Who do we have to meet? So I feel like obviously there's a difference because like it's personal and the other one is personal but mixed with business. Do you get what I'm saying? So my team, my team, I'd say I don't really have like a solid team, as in, oh yeah, this person is working with me, so he's gonna work with me for this amount of time. It just keeps on changing and moving. But the people that stayed in, I'd say firstly Ben, which is right behind the scenes, because we grew up together and he literally gets most of my shots done, and if I need help on a project, he's the first one that's gonna know, and I'm gonna call him and be like, oh yeah, how are we gonna do this? Is this cool if I do it this way for the rollout or something? And then I've got my other friend called Duma, who's in Paris, and he's more on the like communication part of it, like between me and manufacturers, because bro speaks with such sophisticated language. So all my emails, he's the one that like corrects the grammar and all, because I swear French grammar is so complicated. I've lived my whole life in France and I'm better in English, like
Yeah.
as in sophisticated vocabulary than I am in French. So he gets that done. And then I've got my friend Alex, so that's BBF. He's got his own brand. But yeah, it's just like if I'm hesitant about something, I'll call him and be like, yo. But I'd say I started a bit before him, so it's more like he will ask me, then I'm gonna ask him. But he managed to crack Photoshop and Illustrator before I did, so he helps me on that part, yeah. So that's like my solid team. And then, you know, I've got some people that are coming and going, that I phone up for advice or be like, yo, if I do this, like, is it gonna go for the worst or for the best? So yeah, that's my solid team would be Ben, Alex, Duma, and then I've got like maybe 2-3 people come and go. But and then I'm solid with the outside guys. So it's the brand I'm wearing right now from Paris, and that's who I hit up when I need production to be done in Paris, because now I produce most of my stuff in Paris rather than produce it in like China or India.
What does that mean?
Obviously, I'm from Paris, so if I tell like Paris people, oh yeah, this is printed and made in Paris, they're gonna support it because it's like a local business. Whereas some people, if you tell them this is coming from China, but you're giving them the same quality, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's from China, I'm not gonna buy it. But let's be honest, like China has good quality. Like I feel like most of the stuff that we're wearing or we have in our crib is from China. It has some good quality, but some people have like a negative, let's say, prejudice behind it.
Yeah, fair enough. So, you know how you were saying your team,
Mm.
how it is now, do you think it's always going to stay like that, or do you think that as the brand progresses, you're going to need to do things that you don't do now?
I feel like it could only get bigger than smaller. So I feel like right now, I do most of the stuff, but obviously I've got 3 people behind me that are like more of a support than actually like physically helping. But I'd say Ben is physically helping because when I come London, I crash at his. Or when we meet people, sometimes we meet them together and he gets the shoots done. But I feel like, you know how when you meet a friend, when you've got a friend and you've got him for like a long time, you can distinguish if he's gonna stay or not. Do you get what I'm saying? Like sometimes you've got that one friend and you know you're there for life. So I feel like these 3 people are gonna be there for life, because like I've had friends that I've met during that same period of time, like what, 2020, or like even before that, actually 2018 or 2019, and these people, they live right next door and I never see them. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas, like for example, Ben lives in a whole nother country, and I see him more often than my other friends. So I feel like that solid team is always gonna stay. It's not that I can't imagine it changing. I just feel like I've got something in me saying it's not gonna change. But then obviously, it's gonna if the brand scales, and when it scales, I'll be obliged to have more people involved in it.
Yeah, I was saying to Ben before how you guys, so he lives in England and you're still in France.
Yeah.
And even though you've been apart like for so long,
Yeah.
you've still ended up on the same wavelength.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is so crazy because it's like, how did the initial, like your initial friendship basically just made you end up in the same place,
Yeah.
even if you physically aren't in the same place.
But that's what I find crazy is because like when I met Ben, I met him, so like, what's Sankyam in the UK?
Yeah. Well, we met in year 7, but we became friends in year 8.
Yeah, so I met him in year 7 and became friends in year 8, and that same year we met each other, so it's not even a whole year, it's like a school year, so it's like what, September to June or July. We met, we probably met in that year and became friends, and so that meant we were friends for like what, 10 months in the same country, and now it's been what, 5 or 6 years, or actually even 7 that we are actually separated, so that's, for me that's the craziest part behind it.
That's really impressive, and like to think he's not even like friend, it's like the friend.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, so I feel like he's gonna stay, and like obviously, you know, I've got school, I'm busy, but we still have time to like see each other, yeah.
Do you think school's just like wasting your time a little bit and you're only doing it for your parents, or?
That's actually a good question, because I feel like maybe a lot of people in my spot will be thinking that, but I've always had that mindset that school is a waste and that you don't need school and all if you're going in the creative like direction. But now when I'm really thinking about it, obviously you do need school. I don't care what you say, I'm not being biased. I'm not saying what my parents are telling me because this is my own opinion, but I feel like you do need a certain background in your education, because it's not even about a question of if your project is gonna flop. It's like, now that I'm networking with people, I've realized that, because I'm only 17, so I'm realizing this now. To my younger self, when I would see someone with 10k creative, I would think that he's rich as hell. But now that I've networked with people, I've realized that everyone, they might seem big on social media, but everyone has a 9 to 5, everyone has a job, and I feel like, you know, how in the creative space, education is not really like, how to say, it's not,
I don't think it defines how well you're going to do.
Yeah, but it's not seen as like something essential. But I feel like if 90% of the creators had like a solid education, like a solid background, like they would have a 9 to 5 to finance a project, but they're gonna make more money because they have like a better job, and so the fact that they have like a higher salary, they could fund their projects quicker and easier, and the whole, like, let's say, lore behind their success is going to be shorter because they had the money to finance all their projects.
Yeah, they're basically fast forwarding the process.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like education can only benefit you. Like, it can't, like, you're getting educated, you're learning, it can't be like something that's pushing you down. It can only bring you up. But I feel like it's a question of time, because obviously then you have to handle both, or you have to like be disciplined and say, okay, I'm finishing my studies and at this age I'm gonna start. So yeah.
So you know how you were saying about social media and how like you think people are big and stuff, and the more you've learned, you realise people aren't like that. What other things have you noticed about social media? Like, because you're saying you network on Insta, then you meet people in real life. What other things are you noticed?
What I realized is, you know, sometimes they say like never meet your heroes. It's kind of like that. It's like when I started to meet people, because like when I really got into networking, I didn't even know I was networking, but when I got into networking was when I was 14. And so, you know, when you're a kid, you're more a consumer than someone that creates. Like, you're just a consumer. And so you've got that consumer's mindset. So like what I mean by consumer mindset is, imagine this influencer is going to make an ad and put out a product. You're not going to have the vision of the process behind it. You're going to have the vision of what it looks like in the ad. So when you're on social media, you'll see people wearing like this chain, that chain, VVS, or with this car, this Airbnb, this, that, and you think that, oh yeah, this guy's balling, but at the end of the day, the thing that whoever the person is putting out is, let's say, I don't have the word, it's created in a way that you think that they have a certain status. So when I started meeting these people, I've realized that, it might sound dumb, but I've realized that they're just human beings like I am, do you get what I'm saying? And they're no different than me. Maybe they've got a certain status, but yes, I feel like you can't really, it's not you can't really, you shouldn't really trust what you see on social media, because it builds a sort of like idol image of a person, which is not an idol, do you get what I'm saying? Like, nobody's an idol at the end of the day.
I agree. Do you think it's just like that for streetwear and the creative spin, which is like people that are normal people just getting into things, or do you think it's like in high fashion as well?
I feel like it's not even a question about fashion. I feel like it's everything, like literally everything. Because like, let's take for example like Kim Kardashian. Like we can't debate on the fact that she's rich or not. We all know like she's got money, but the thing is like the way. I mean, I don't follow her. I don't know what her page looks like, but I guess if you go on her page right now on IG, you'll see like her and her family being happy and all. So you've got that mindset of like, oh yeah, these people are like always happy. These people are like bougie, rich and all, but they're literally just humans like I am, or like you are, or like the person watching this is. They go through the same emotions that we do, the same struggles, like maybe not same financial struggles, but they've literally got like a human life, like, do you get what I'm saying? And fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to spit some facts right now, but I forgot what I was about to say. But yeah, if I'm going to sum it up, it's just like when I started networking, I just realized that all of it is fake, and that everyone is just a human. Like, I remember I met this famous guy, and bro is just on TikTok and knows every like TikTok sounds by heart, like all the memes and stuff. And that's when I realized, yo, there's no difference between me as like I was 15 and the other guy, like we're literally just the same, do you get what I'm saying? So that's when I really clocked in, like these guys are just us, but a bit older with a bit more status, so yeah.
Fair enough. What's like, shit, I forgot what I was going to say.